me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
They're seeing now and they're learning, and I think for the most part, most of our citizens in Jasper are pretty happy with what they see that's happening. They can see the fruits of the Spirit. They can see what's happening. You know, seeing progress in our town. So, citizens don't understand what you have to go through, and they just think everything is supposed to be perfect, and you know, they don't realize breakdowns. You only got 6 employees, and you got 12 park sites, and you got to do all the maintenance and everything on
Mother Nature never takes a day off.
No, it doesn't.
As far as growing. All right, so we are live again with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. I'm Craig LeBlanc with special guest Willie Moore III, former Park and Rec director over in Jasper, Alabama, which is where I'm at right now in their Civic Center. Just met with Peter. He is the current Park and Rec director, but prior to that, how many Parks and Rec directors have taken the torch from someone like Mr. Willie here? And so we're just going to hear his story, how he got into Parks and Rec, what industry he came out of, and then learn about his tenure here. So welcome to the show, Mr. Willie. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So
you were telling me a little bit about, you started off in the coal mine here in Jasper. So maybe take us back to that time period, and then how you kind of started working in city government from there.
Well, I grew up playing ball in the recreation department as a young lad, and graduated from high school, and I was in junior college, and decided to apply for a job in the mining industry. So I got hired, and I went to work in the coal mines, underground coal mines. And I've always did volunteer work at the recreation department as a coach, as an assistant, or as the head coach. But basketball was my heart. So all this was going on during basketball season. And my parents was telling me that there was a vacancy in the recreation department. Why don't I apply for that? And my biggest thing there, like, oh, they're not going to be paying what the coal miners are making. But through prayer, and much faith, I did apply for the position that was available. It was the assistant Parks and Recreation director at the time. And I got hired. The director at that time and I had went to high school together. He was a upperclassman, but he knew me. We grew up coming through the rec department, playing ball and different things like that. So he hired me and gave me an opportunity because the mining had shut down. Another company bought them out, closed the mines, and there was no guarantee of another job for a while. And I did that, and then I did get called back to the mines, but I refused to go back. And because I had also during that time pursued my officiating career. I officiated.
What sports did you officiate?
I officiated basketball, softball, and volleyball. Basketball was my heart at that time, and I pursued it, and I got picked up in some college conferences, and that was a great experience for me, being on the road. And we were able to manage. Only one had one child at the time, and so I decided not to go back into mining and continue my career in recreation. And I was here at Jasper for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
The Lord blessed me.
Fantastic. So what was it like coming in out of the coal mine industry and then into, working for city government?
It was a little different because, the demands were differently, but the main thing is because I was like a supervisor and the maintenance department was under me, being able to work with people and get along with people and getting them to buy into what you was trying to get them to understand. And we let them know we're there for the citizens. It's not about us. It was about the citizens and the kids, the people that we serve. So we didn't do our best job for them.
And so maybe speak about what was your why back then, as far as, what kept you coming back. Parks and Rec doesn't always necessarily pay the most. Of course, they have great benefits and it's pretty good pay. But tell us about, what was the impact that you had, and what impact did it have on you?
Well, you don't see the same people every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always something different that comes before you. But the biggest thing I had enjoyment out of when I saw the little young ones smiling and happy,
Mm,
that's what made you want to come to work every day. To see them smile, make things the best you could for them, and let them enjoy life.
right.
Because
Right.
someone had to do it when I was there and when I was a kid, and then I just looked at it like that. We're here for the kids.
Right. Now, were there any certain programs or things that you built during your tenure that you're kind of especially proud of here in the city?
Um, Basically, we just tried to upgrade what we had because when I came on, we didn't have a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But we increased the programs we had, and then we added some where we had youth programs. We didn't have an adult program. We had an adult program, and some things like volleyball. We had adult volleyball, but we added youth volleyball, and that was one of our bigger programs overall. But baseball was the hottest item at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and softball. So we got all that with the facilities that we had. We actually outgrew our facilities that we had.
Mm. And so, what were some of the other, maybe highlight for us some of the struggles that y'all had to overcome?
Manpower. We didn't have enough men in the workforce to accommodate what we had to take care of. That was a
Mhm.
struggle. Of course, that eats your budget up when you got to do a lot of overtime and different things like that.
Right.
And the equipment at that time, we weren't staffed with a lot of good equipment.
Mhm.
Where you needed 6 weed eaters, we only had 1.5.
Oh, goodness.
So, I was an old school guy. We had to go to the sling blades and shovels and hoes, but
Yeah.
we made it.
Yeah. I just got off my last show was with Garrett. He does a lot of lawn maintenance for a conservancy, or actually for a private company now. But we were joking about how there's always some kind of equipment graveyard that you're constantly cannibalizing to make the current equipment you have work, and with the lawnmowers and weed eaters and everything else you have to maintain your facilities.
Yes, it's very important
Yeah.
because citizens don't understand what you have to go through, and they just
Mhm.
think everything is supposed to be perfect, and they don't realize breakdowns.
Mm.
You only got 6 employees, and you got 12 park sites, and you got to do all the maintenance and everything on that 3 or 4 buildings, and you got to get everything prepared for that day. Every
Mhm.
day at that time, we were a 7-day operation.
That's right. And Mother Nature never takes a day off
No, it
as
doesn't.
far as growing.
That's right.
Is there so tell us about this transition out of, and now you're on the city council, right?
Yes.
And so how does that work as far as, how does your city government work as far as making decisions, allowing Peter to do what he needs to do? How do y'all help him in his decision making?
Well, they all make a budget request,
Mm-hmm.
and we approve or disapprove off the mayor's recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their budget they have to stay within. And if they have something that's outside the budget, it's going to be very expensive. They have to come before us, and we approve the bidding process and then approve the funding for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good when recreation comes because I understand it more. It makes a
Yeah.
big difference. And being an employee of the city, you understand when it comes down for budgeting, when it comes to pay raises and different things in other departments. Because when I was a recreator, I had to work with the street department, sanitation department, because we need their assistance on different things that we had to do. They had the equipment or they had the manpower to loan us and different things to survive.
Mm.
But that's pretty much how we deal. He has to answer to the mayor for day-to-day operations. The council don't interfere.
And so how many council members are there?
There's 5
And so y'all all run for election how frequently?
every 4 years.
So every 4 years you run citywide, just like the mayor does. Is it a whole new council every 4 years, or do y'all,
It could be a whole new council every 4 years,
okay.
but it hadn't been that way in a long time where you got a complete new slate. But maybe 2 or 3 or whatever. When I came on, it was 2 of us
Mhm.
that was new.
Right.
And
And how long have you been a council member here?
this is going into my 9th year because we had the COVID year.
Oh, I see.
Um, first year I had 2 other opponents, and I won without a runoff. And then this last term, I didn't have an opponent at all.
Mm. And so do you find that it helps that you had a background in Parks and Rec so that when Peter comes to you with his issues or his needs, you're able to understand it? Do you kind of explain that to your fellow council members?
Yes, they listen to what I have to say about, certain things that they don't understand. Yes, and it's good because I understand him when he brings it to us.
Right, right. So what would be your recommendation as far as, let's say you're a retired Park and Rec director and you still kind of want to give back to the city? Would you recommend maybe running for office kind of like you're doing to continue to serve the city in that way?
Yes, I will be running again.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably my last term, but I'll be running again.
yeah. And so how is the difference between, because someone like Peter, Park and Rec director, typically there's an unelected official, but, they'll be around for sometimes 15, 20, even 30 years as a director. Shifting gears from something like that to something where you're really going out for the votes, you're maybe running for reelection every 4 years. How is that public service different versus something a little more stable, a little more consistent, kind of like a director position?
Well, you're still dealing with people.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, some of the same requests that they have for recreation is they ask you as a council person because they don't really understand how the city government works. It's not, I can't just go in there and ask for a new gymnasium,
Yeah, right.
It's got to be requested and it come from the rec department to do that. Basically, what I could do, let's say if he wanted a new building, I could speak up as far as helping to get the funding for him to get that building. I can vote for his request or whatever needs to be done. But we have to be on one accord. It's got to be something that's needed for our city, not just to have something to say we got it.
Right.
Because also there, as a council person, we have to look out for the departments as well. That keeps the city day-to-day operation going. But we also got citizens we got to serve. When it comes to street paving and different things like that, that has to be done. Demolitions and cleaning up neighborhoods and stuff like that. Trying to recruit businesses into your town with giving incentives and different things like that. So there's a lot more than just sitting up there saying yes, 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 or no, no, no.
Right, right. And then what did you learn, or what did you wish you knew when you started the campaign part of it? Because obviously there's a portion of what you do where you have to go out and get the vote. You're basically shaking hands, trying to tell people to please vote for you because you'd like to maybe add this or that to the city. What was that like when you first ran for it?
It was very interesting and it was different. The things that you hear that people would like to see or want, or the way that they think that the city government is ran or ought to be ran, they don't realize you can't do that. But basically what I told my people in my district and other people in the city, it doesn't matter whether you're in my district or not. If you're in the city of Jasper, I'm a councilman for the entire city of Jasper as well as my district. Yes, I'm going to fight for my district for things that I know that need to be done or should be done. But I tell them, you come to me, I'll go and see if I can get it done or ask, whatever. If I don't know the answer for you, then if I don't know, we'll go sit down with the mayor and I'll go with you. Because you also voted for him too. So just let him explain it. So they won't be all mad at me. They'll be mad at me and the mayor.
Right.
So,
Right.
But that's pretty much. And I think this council that we've had this term has did a great job for our city, and the people can see the progress that's being done within our city. So
yeah. Any advice for maybe a retired director looking to maybe start a campaign following your footsteps in their local community? What do they need to know about just campaigning in general?
Be honest and be truthful.
Great advice.
And don't say something or that you can do that you can't do. It's better to say I don't know than to say I will, and you can't. So that's something that no one can tell you that I've told them anything that I could do that I didn't do, or I didn't lie to them. In other words, don't be a liar. Just be a straight up politician or whatever you want to call it, and be honest with the people.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how does that come back to bite you when I'm assuming sometimes you overextend yourself. I know it's easy you kind of want to say yes to people, but you kind of have to have the discipline to say no. Has that ever come back to bite you when you were younger? Or is that a lesson you had to learn?
No, because what I tried to do, it was tell them that's not in my category. I'm not able to help you there. But if you call Peter at the Parks and Recreation Department, he can give you that answer about the park or whatever. Because that's what we got people running the different departments for is to take care of those things. And I say, if you don't get the answer you want with Peter, come back to me. We'll sit down with Peter and we'll try to see if we can't work something out, or we'll go to the mayor and see if we can get it done. But I can't tell you that. Yes, I used to be the director and I could tell you how I did things, but you got a new director, you got to respect that and go to him.
Right.
Because a lot of people still think that
you're still the director.
Still the director.
Yeah. So this seems like a very natural career path after you retire from Parks and Rec to then go maybe to a little bit higher level that's elected and represent the people in that way. Would you kind of happy with your decision?
Yes. It's been definitely a blessing from God. I prayed about it before I did it, and I prayed for not just one day or 1 hour. I prayed for several months, even year. Lord, guide me and direct me, and feel like I'm following His direction. Because if not, He would not allow me to be in 2 terms. That's the way I feel.
That's it.
I kept the faith.
So what are some of the challenges that you face during this? Things that just come with the job.
People don't understand. I'm gonna say grants, because my district is one of the lower income districts in the city, and they see things going on or happening in other parts of town, and they're wondering why we can't get this in our district or that. They don't realize that we got to start somewhere, and some things are done by grant money, and it didn't always come through the city. It might have been a DECA or somebody, with the State Department that was doing something, and we just got to wait on our turn. And then a lot of people don't know where the district lines are. And I had a guy jumping on me. Oh, y'all is just doing everything. It looks good, and that's fine, but you're not doing it in our district. So let me tell you something. Everything you just learned, you just mentioned, that's in our district. Round up. A lot of people don't know the district lines, and there's a lot of things that's happening. And people, they're seeing now and they're learning. And I think for the most part, most of our citizens in Jasper are pretty happy with what they see that's happening. They can see the fruits of the Spirit. They can see what's happening, seeing progress in our town.
Right. So it seems like you incorporate your faith a lot into your decision making. How has that helped you to kind of, I guess, be strong throughout all these tough decisions you've had to make?
Oh, yes. It's very, very encouraging. I mean, I just pray and ask God to direct my path, direct my thoughts, my mind, and that He speak through me and what I do, so I just try to stay calm and just do what I think is right at the time.
That's it. Now, have you ever thought about maybe running for mayor, or how is your relationship with the mayor, working with the mayor? What does that look like?
Oh, it looks good. I've thought about it, but I don't know that that's the direction the Lord wants me to go at this time, or that I even want to go at this time.
Right.
It's a great position. I feel like I could do a good job and would do a good job for the citizens of this city, but that's not my ultimate goal at this time. I've been approached.
Yeah.
But
that's a big responsibility.
It's a big responsibility, and I just don't think that's what I want to do. And a guy asked me one day in front of my wife, and she answered for me before I could even I started laughing, and she said no. But she was just joking, because she knew I wasn't going to do that. But not at this time now. Anything can happen.
That's right.
I'm not going to never say no, or never say never. But those things have crossed my mind.
So what is it like to, let's maybe talk about what's the working relationship with a mayor need to be, or what's that like?
The mayor that I came in with, he's passed away, but he was a good person to work
Mhm.
with, very easy to talk to, understanding. And if you didn't understand, he'd try to research and get an understanding of what you're trying to do. And
Mhm.
our mayor now, he was council person, had been for 20 something years. And he's a great person also, someone that you can talk to, and he's willing and wanting to see the city progress.
Mm.
And if you got people that are interested and like they were, like both of them, well, he was, and the other one is, uh, can't help but see things happen in your town.
Yeah.
And if you look around or ride around, you see different construction sites going up and different things happening. That's a
Yeah.
plus for our city.
Yeah, it's got to be a great sense of seeing that progress. It's got to feel good to kind of see that you're helping your town grow and helping it make progress. And what has that journey been like? Because I know Jasper, it just seems like recently they've got the downtown local businesses are starting to come back. What are some tell us about the evolution of that?
Yeah, that has been great, and it's we're drawing more interest downtown, and our downtown area is being filled most of the time. Now we got a few restaurants down there, and that's
Mhm.
been a plus for our citizens that like to go down in that atmosphere. And it's just been great. Our education system is one of the finest in the state of Alabama, and we built a new school and different things like that. And our system, Jasper City and Walker County, and our college, Bevel State, are all working together. And I don't think that's been done in the past as, I'm going to say, as nice or
Mhm.
as it is now in the past. But we're doing everything for betterment of our kids, get better educations, whether it's in the industrial part of it or whatever. We're preparing our kids for the workforce, and as well as those that wants to go on to college.
Mm. And so, what's the population of Jasper? Is it
Inside the city of 15,000.
15,000?
Yeah.
Great little town. How far are we away from Birmingham? About an hour? Are we in a full hour from it?
Not anymore. We're like 35, 45 minutes.
Oh, goodness. Y'all got closer?
Yeah, we have an interstate now. We
Oh,
don't have
right.
to go through the little towns with the traffic lights, so you can get there faster. I can't tell you how fast you can get there, but
Yes.
you can get there
That's
less
right.
than an hour. Yes,
Less than an hour.
you can be in Hoover in an hour.
And so this is a great little town northwest, about 30, 45 minutes from Birmingham. So if you haven't been, it's got a great little picturesque downtown, good little shops, coffee houses, restaurants. Tell us the story behind the mules. You know that?
No, I really don't know in detail everything, so I would mess it up.
Yeah, I need to get Peter in here to tell it. There's these little, and I've seen towns have this. They'll have like this little mascot or something, and somebody paints a mule, and now there's like
Right.
a mule on every corner. And
Yeah.
and I know there's a story behind it. I'm gonna have to get Peter to tell us the mule story.
Right.
All right. So, any advice for a park and rec director if they're kind of retired, looking for something new, they'd like to run as a city council member, maybe elected office? Any advice you would give them?
Pray about it first,
Yeah.
but you've got to have the heart to do it. You've got to have time to do it, and you got to be able to accept constructive criticism,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're right or when you're wrong. You just can't let the citizens anger you to the point to where it's going to cause problems.
Mm.
And you have some that don't know, that talk to you roughly,
Mm-hmm.
but when they find out they were wrong, some will come back and apologize. But like you said, you said what you meant. I don't know if accepted apology. No, I'm just joking on that part of it. But
Yeah.
but it's a tough. It's not as easy as people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Some people respect you and some don't. I have people call me from other districts just wanting to know an answer because they know I'm going to tell them
Mm-hmm.
if I know it, if I don't, or I'm going to tell them the truth like it is, whether they like it or not.
Right.
And that makes you feel good there. And most of them, I've gone to school with or have worked with their child in some capacity.
Yeah.
I've been here all my life. So a lot of people knows me.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story. If you're a park and rec director out there, and you're kind of close to retirement, looking for what you might do next, I know some of you work for some of the vendors that work in Parks and Rec, whether it's a playground equipment or, working with, any of the many vendors that Parks and Rec people have to use. But many of you might consider a journey like Mr. Willie Moore III has taken, maybe representing the people in an elected capacity and continuing that journey of being a great public servant. So thank you so much, Mr. Willie, for coming on the show. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. We will be here again tomorrow, 12 noon. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Guest Willie Moore III. See y'all again later. Thanks. Bye.
When you invest in our high-performance LED sports arena lights, you're not just upgrading your facilities, you're helping us illuminate the untold stories of parks and recreation communities. Every purchase directly supports the Daily Parks and Rec Show, a media platform on a mission to celebrate the heart and soul of our local parks and programs. From after-school activities to summer leagues, these spaces shape lives, and their stories deserve to be told. Why your support matters. Capturing community impact. Your contribution helps us assemble a talented team of digital artists, storytellers, and filmmakers to create compelling videos, articles, and short films that spotlight how Parks and Rec programs change lives. Sharing untold stories. From a child's first home run to lifelong friendships forged on the court, we'll document these priceless moments and share them with the world. Inspiring the next generation. By highlighting the joy, inclusivity, and opportunities found in our parks, we foster a deeper appreciation for these vital community spaces. Light up arenas, brighten futures. Your choice to install LED sports arena lights isn't just a smart investment in energy efficiency and performance, it's an investment in stories that deserve to be told. Be part of the story. Take action today. Purchase LED sports arena lights and help us shine a spotlight on the heartwarming stories that define our parks and communities. Contact us now to learn more about our products and how your support fuels the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Together, we'll shine a light on the moments that matter most.